TheTechRabbit here. So now you've been working with Rust for a while, and then you would actually like to start working on a little bit larger projects, and then the question arises that how do I create cargo projects with more than one crate, so that I can have more than one library, or how do I create an application that has an application and libraries, and then how do I actually say that I'm dependent on a local my own local crate. So let's go through that phase by phase. So anyway, we have a command prompt. Interesting. So what do we do? Anyway, so I'm sort of working on something, and I'd like to actually create a bunch of libraries for my own local project. So the first thing I'll do is I'll create a directory. Let's call it my libs. We go into my libs. And the way this works is you have like a top level cargo file, and that needs to be initialized. So I'm just going to use Notepad to create the file. So, and then we just fill it with this information initially. So we put in our workspace section, and then we put in resolver is 2, and the reason you put resolver in 2 is equal to 2, that if you use a recent version of Rust, you have a recent version of Rust. And then if you don't put this in, then it will sort of, it seems to be like defaulting to the old format of the cargo file, and then you'll get some informational warnings about the format of the cargo file. So I put this number 2 here, so to use the newer version. So back to the command line, and we will create a few libraries. I'll just create lib1 first, and then we go into lib1, and then here we need to initialize the library. And we will use the standard cargo init. So we'll use this cargo init, and then we'll say that we want to create a library, use a library template, and then we're just not going to use source control for this library. And then here it sees that it creates it. Now then, when you create it, then it will automatically add it to the root cargo file. So it will say that in this workspace, what are the members? So this will be the first member. So that's the lib1. Let's get out here. And of course, the names can be whatever you want. So I'm just trying to make it a simple example. Create a lib2, initialize that one. And as you see, it automatically adds the lib2 to this list also. So now we've created a separate subdirectory with a collection of your own libraries, and they're local, so they're not sort of distributed on the internet or anything, and they're not shared into source control. So that's all okay. So now we've created a bunch of libraries. But what if I want to have my own application with its own libraries in parallel with it, and I want all that to be local? So what do I do that? So let's make an example of that. So, and in this case, also you put in the root, you put a cargo file. that will have the same content that I showed for the library, so there's no difference there. So here's the cargo files, as you see. Initially there's no difference. So, and then we create a directory for the app. Just call it app. And then we go in there. And then we... where did I put it? I have to get the command. Always forget the commands. Where did I put it? Down here. So, and then we just say init. Actually, it's the only thing that changes the menu. You say instead of //lib, you say //bin, and then we also exclude it from source control. And then also this does the same trick that it automatically updates the root cargo file with the member entry. And then if you would like to have parallel libraries, then it's just to we can call it app lib1. And then just tell me to take the standard. So this is the same way. There's no difference if you were creating a on the side library or a library which is connected directly to your application in the same workspace. Then just use the same command. So I just created it in parallel. So we have the application, and then you have the application library, and then we have the set of libraries on the side. So if you would like to actually define that your application library is dependent on, or your application is dependent on the application library, then you can add to the dependencies section. You can go applib1 is equal to wherever the crate is located. So now they're like interconnected and they know about each other. And if you would like to create dependencies on the external libraries, the one that we set it in the other directory, then you can also give a relative path reference in the dependencies, so you get them also connected to your application. And now of course the issue is now I have the libraries on the side there, and I have all these I've got the application with its own library. Do I have to how do I get this thing built? And I want to actually do this in a little bit reverse order. So this is your friend. When you have this kind of a multi-library application setup, in my opinion, that since computers are relatively fast nowadays, I suggested when one's been making changes in the sub-libraries and stuff, because I'm a bit paranoid not to run always cargo clean, and then you can actually see if it removed any files or not. And then we can run cargo build, and this applies also to cargo test and cargo run, so they also work. If you've been following my other videos, you know about those commands also. But anyway, let's build it. And it seems to be building the main application, and it's built the I meant that it's build the application, and it's built the connected libraries. Oh, here was the app, compiling app. Yep, so that also built. Yes, of course. Yeah, then of course, if one was if one is wanting to absolutely follow the Rust naming convention, then I actually left this in there on purpose. That then one should actually use snake case naming convention, so that they actually don't like this naming convention. So yeah, just as a hint when you start them, actually follow the snake case name convention, and you get rid of these warnings. So as a bonus hint, this has to do with external crates. So of course your application and your libraries might actually be dependent on the same external crate. So you can actually, what you can do is that you can, in your subcargo file, you can say in the dependency you can some create common crate and then you say workspace is true. So that means that it should look into the workspace cargo definition to see if to take all the dependencies to common, and then when you come up here, then you have workspace dependencies and then some common, well, the name of the crate and then what version to use. So you can actually maintain the dependencies in one in the root cargo file instead of distributing them all over having them copied into the different sub trees that can cause problems. So anyway, that was yeah, crate and cargo handling when you want to build larger projects where you have separate, like yeah, one would say cargo crate combinations, which are like library sets, and then you have an application with its own internal libraries, and then how do you connect those two together and maintain. And then ultimately, well, of course, if you're going to publish your application, then you will publish the crates to the external world so that you don't have to manage them. But this is the way also to make your development when it comes to your own code. If you use your own libraries for your own internal purposes, then you can make it all local. So I hope that was useful. I've also like written comments about, or a short sort of a demo example I'm going to put in the description of the video. So if you didn't really follow what I was going, then I put pretty much using a little bit more real world example. I put written it in the comments of the videos. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I know there's lots, absolutely heap loads of commands and procedures and tricks and tips that one can do with both the cargo level and the crates, but I think this is pretty much the core and the most important thing to get started, so you don't feel frustrated. How do I get even the basic stuff? So of course, when you set this up, then you might want to read up on it a little bit more, and then you can add the more advanced features on the fly. See you in the next one.